Welcome to a new video of Brain Spanner that could change the way you look at your daily routine. Have you ever found yourself effortlessly immersed in the world of video games or social media for hours, only to dread tackling something challenging, like studying or working, even for just half an hour? Imagine if there was a way to trick your brain into enjoying the hard stuff. Stay tuned, and I'll share how I achieved just that through a fascinating technique called Dopamine Detox. Let me tell you a story that may resonate with you. Faced with the choice of diving into hours of video gaming or mindlessly scrolling through social media, the idea of dedicating 30 minutes to studying or an hour to your side business suddenly brings resistance, an invisible force pulling you away from productivity. Why is it easier to gravitate towards enjoyable activities than challenging ones? The answer lies in the intricate workings of a neurotransmitter called dopamine, often labeled as the pleasure molecule. Dopamine is more than just about pleasure. It's the driving force behind our desires and motivation. To understand its power, consider a captivating experiment with rats. Neuroscientists implanted electrodes into rat brains, stimulating the reward system each time a rat pulled a lever. This led to the rats developing an intense craving, repetitively pulling the lever for hours, forsaking basic needs like eating and sleeping until exhaustion set in. Later, the process was reversed. Blocking the release of dopamine in the brain's reward center left the rats lethargic. Even the effort to get a drink of water seemed unwarranted. They exhibited a lack of interest in eating, mating, or any form of craving, essentially losing all motivation to live. Interestingly, when food was directly placed in their mouths, the rats would still eat and enjoy it, emphasizing the role of dopamine beyond basic hunger or thirst instincts. While the rat experiments may be extreme instances, the effects of dopamine are evident in human experiences and daily routines. Our brains establish priorities contingent on anticipated dopamine levels. Activities offering minimal dopamine release lack motivation, whereas those yielding substantial dopamine prompt repetition. So, what triggers dopamine? Any activity where you anticipate a potential reward does the trick. Scrolling through social media, playing video games, or even anticipating a text message on your phone. In the digital age, we've inadvertently become like those rats, incessantly seeking our next dopamine hit. Consider this. Before indulging in comfort food, your brain releases dopamine in anticipation of feeling good, even if the food ultimately makes you feel worse. Your brain seems indifferent to the potential harm of high dopamine activities. It craves more regardless. Think of a stereotypical case, like a drug addict knowingly engaging in harmful behavior but driven solely by the desire for more. Substances like cocaine and heroin, aside from their intoxicating effects, unleash unnatural amounts of dopamine, intensifying the craving. It's worth noting that nearly everything prompts some dopamine release, including simple acts like drinking water when thirsty. However, the peak release occurs when a reward is unpredictable. Consider playing a slot machine in a casino. Despite continuous losses, there's an expectation of a larger reward, creating uncertainty about when it will happen. In today's digital era, we unknowingly inundate our brains with abnormally high dopamine levels daily. Engaging in high dopamine behaviors becomes a habitual quest for rewards. We check our phones incessantly, anticipating messages or notifications, much like the rats persistently pulling a lever for a new dopamine hit. Now, you might be wondering how to implement a dopamine detox in your life. It's simpler than you think. Start with a day-long detox, consciously avoiding high-stimulus activities, embracing boredom, and allowing your dopamine receptors to recover. If a full day seems intense, consider a smaller detox by refraining from one high dopamine behavior for a day each week. A quick note: if you're grappling with drug addiction, seek professional help due to likely physiological and psychological dependence. I want to ensure your safety, and abrupt changes may lead to severe withdrawal symptoms. Now, let's delve into the detox plan. For an entire day, the goal is to minimize enjoyable activities. No internet usage, technological devices, music, or indulging in personal pleasures like masturbation or junk food. Essentially, you're eliminating all external sources of pleasure for the full day, embracing boredom, and yes, there will be a fair amount of it. However, you are permitted to engage in the following activities: take a walk, meditate, spend time alone with your thoughts, reflect on your life and goals, and jot down any ideas you might have. Do this on a physical piece of paper, not your computer or phone. While this may seem intense, radical actions yield radical results quickly. Now, you might wonder why this approach works. Consider this analogy. If you've been dining exclusively at the finest restaurant in town, those exquisite meals become your new norm. If someone presents you with a bowl of plain rice, you might reject it because it doesn't match your usual dining experience. However, if you suddenly find yourself stranded on a deserted island, hungry, that bowl of plain rice becomes appealing. The dopamine detox operates similarly by depriving you of typical pleasures, making less stimulating activities more attractive. In essence, the detox works because boredom makes mundane tasks more enjoyable. If a full-day detox seems too extreme, opt for a milder version. Choose one day each week to abstain from one of your high dopamine behaviors: constant phone checking, computer gaming, TV binge watching, consuming junk food, or engaging in internet pornography. I challenge you to try this technique and observe its impact on your motivation and productivity. Embrace the boredom, take a walk, reflect on your goals, let your brain reset, and remember, you don't have to completely deprive yourself of pleasure. Use your high dopamine activities as rewards for completing challenging tasks. Before you go, if you found this information valuable, gently tap the like button. Your support helps this content reach more people striving for self-improvement. If you're intrigued by the science of motivation and want more insights, hit the subscribe button and join our community. I'm curious to hear your thoughts and experiences, so share them in the comments below. Challenge your brain, embrace the discomfort, and make those hard tasks a source of satisfaction. Remember, it's all about tricking your brain into working for your long-term goals. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.